Okay. Well, they're always interesting. But we have the Three of Cups, which is about celebration. And I just felt when these two cards are together, they're both threes. One's the Three of Cups, one's the Three of Swords. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay. So let me grab my wand. Happiness, joy, celebration. It could be a number of things. Getting together with friends, old friends you haven't seen in a while, parties coming up, religious and or spiritual gatherings. It could be that. And then here's the Three of Swords that says, but my heart has been broken, or I've, how do I want to say this with this particular card? I almost don't want to look at this. The textbook is getting over a broken heart. See how the clouds are on top of, and the rain's coming down on this particular heart, and the swords are going through it. Now, the swords represent our ideas and our thoughts. More in this particular reading would be our worries and our concerns. This is for the last 2 weeks of September. So if you feel like that you've either had a relationship in the past, or it's one in the present, it's not working out, and or you think about someone from the past, or you're concerned about someone that's either in your future, it just feels like, it's upsetting to you. I just want to say, and again, this is for Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising. If these messages don't resonate, watch your Moon and Rising, because that completes the story anyway. This is a general reading. But, a lot of times, life is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, of course. And the issues that come up will make us stronger and motivated, or they will bring us down and defeated. So we have a choice here, don't we? So we can look at the down times and say, okay, how can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? How can I take my next step forward? Because oftentimes the next step forward is a new creative way of living or thinking or growing. Okay, so I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, because I feel like there is celebration, and it may be somebody within the celebration that maybe has been sick. I don't know. There just feels like there's some concern and worry, and good tidings, both. We can have positive days and we can have negative days as well. And I don't mean negative and bad, just we don't feel quite as bright and cheerful. Okay, let's look at the last 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks of October, which are both court cards. We have the Page of Cups and the King of Swords. Well, what's really funny is this is the Three of Cups, and this lines up under with the page, and then the sword cards here, we have the King. So 2 cups, 2 swords. Okay, so the Page of Cups represents, to me, it could be a child. This could be a very creative, happy, social, inventive, all over the place. I don't want to say all over the place. That would be more like a fire sign or not. But this would be like a child who would be very creative and intuitive. You might find these intuitive. But, also it's about bringing news of something that makes you happy. It can be, it's not the Knight, but it's just kind of like, he's a young dude. Young dudes bring news. So a creative venture that comes your way. It could be a social invitation. It could be a proposal of marriage, or you're hearing about a proposal of marriage and it makes you happy, possibly for a friend, possibly for a relative. Something's coming up, though, that's going to feel good to you. This King of Swords, he represents a lot of intellectual stability. Intellectual stability. He is like a professor. He would be like a business owner who makes decisions quickly. He leans to the left a little bit. So he's not so strict in his ways as the queen. You know, the queen is sharp and she's definite and she's uses her mind quite a bit. The king is settled on his throne. And I'm not saying anything against the queen. I'm just saying the differences in the two. And this card represents an air sign. That would be Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, sun, moon, or rising. So who in your life, because I'm not sure that these cards, this could be this person here that you're concerned about or that you've been in a relationship with, or this person could come into your life and say, this is what I think you should be doing. They might be very opinionated, but I don't think so much so. I think that they're going to be more tender than they are going to be stern. I think they're going to be more balanced. And I think this king could give you some awfully good advice because you have something coming up here that's like a child and this is emotional. This is an emotional feeling. This is very much an intellectual mind feeling, making decisions, feeling sharp about your decisions. So maybe something comes up and then you're like, okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to take on this new project. I'm going to move. I'm going to take on this opportunity. I'm going to go out with this person and have a good time. You know, many of those things can come up. So let's take a look at the transition card for you guys. It's interesting, the Hanged Man. And the Hanged Man represents a time period, a transition period when we're looking at things, looking at our life, or some situation in our life in 180-degree different than what it normally is. You could be flip-flopping and saying, no, wait a minute. I've totally changed my mind. I'm not going to stay in this relationship or be hurt by this. I'm going to figure out how I can stand up and dance and have the light around me. And that opens you up to social invitations, to this possibly air sign, and or you're being very again, mentally balanced, feeling focused and mentally balanced. So I like the Hanged Man, actually. You know, I want to put him this way because he does, it's not like anyone's doing this to him. He is taking a self-imposed time out, and that time out can be a week, a day, or an hour, and meditating and reflecting on and saying, what can I do differently? Not dwelling in the past, not going, oh, why didn't I make it this way? Why didn't I choose that way? Why did I say the things I did? This is more about what can I do to shine more light on myself, to let myself feel lit up so that I can make things happen. All right, Taurus. Okay, I'm going to add up the cards. And if you all, have any questions, you want your own personal private reading, look in the See More section below. The link to my website is down there that goes straight to my order page. And of course, you can browse around my website as well. But I'm feeling like a lot of you Taurians are, more than any other sign I've done. I think you're my 9th sign for this particular series. And, 9 is also the number of numerology of endings so that new beginnings can come. 9 life paths understand compassion and completion. They've seen a lot of trauma in their life. I understand that. So just saying, there's a lot going on for you guys, but I feel like looking at it in a positive way will bring positive reinforcement. Okay, so like I said, if you'd like to order a reading, you know how to do so. Go in the See More section. Let's add these up. 3 and 3 is 6. And those are 2, 33 in numerology. Let me go do this for a minute. 33 in numerology is a master number. So I do feel like there's something about these 2 cards that are saying, fulfill your heart, fulfill your needs. Master number of creativity. It's the master number of, I call it Heart of God. So if you have that number in your birth, then, that would be interesting to put down below. So 3 and 3 is 6, and 6 and 12 is 18, 19, 20. That's come up one other sign. Well, 20 in numerology, just FYI, I'm talking about numerology a lot, but FYI, anyone who's born on the 20th, you are someone who is really good as a speaker in front of other people. I didn't look at my crystal either. I want to do that before we go. A speaker in front of other people, because 20s are very genuine, very charming. And a lot of times I'll say that to people and they're sort of like, ooh, they're, like, I don't know. I've always wanted to do that, but I'm not very good at that. Well, yes, you are, because you're not boisterous or boisterous. You're very, people want to see speakers that come from their heart, and the 20s do. All right. So that's what that's about. And of course, 2 in numerology represents partnership. So some of you could be seeing some partnerships come up and diplomatic relationships. Okay. And the 20 in the major arcana is the Judgment card. So this has to do with, the day of reckoning, what we've seen that has worked and what we have seen that's not worked, and taking what has and really eyeballing it, and it's like, wow, this is amazing. It's the rebirth. If you think of the card, the Judgment card, it normally has people standing in water looking up to the angel above them. And so they're seeing that their life has been a movie, and here those are. They're seeing their life has been a movie, and how they can use that movie to further their life. And they're talking to the angel. They're talking to the universe. What can I do, universe? So if you have, spirit guides, or your spirit guides around you, if you're angels, or you talk to the archangels, this would be an awesome time to do so, as always.